see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning. It's Monday, January 27th, 2025, and welcome to episode 823 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm enjoying a Guatemalan light roast from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with the discount code LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club. What a fantastic way to get your coffee every week, every month, once a month. You get your monthly coffee at a great price, great customer service. You won't be disappointed. Check out the C4 Club today. And if you're not sure about the coffee, go ahead and grab some to try out. You can use that discount code, like I said, and shipping is always free from foodforestfarms.com. Today, I'm going to be talking about the journey to get the solar panels earlier last week. I've been talking about them for quite a while here on the show. Surviving that cold snap that came through here, and it was something. It was something. I am glad to be back to sleeping all night and not getting up and stoking that fire. That was fun for a couple weeks there, but we're back to sleeping through the night and for the foreseeable future, from what I understand. Maybe one night here or there, but back to it. Some troubleshooting. Got to do some troubleshooting yesterday. And came to a pretty good quick fix. Just need to wait on some parts, and we'll talk about a little bit more as we get going. First, let's grab a cup of coffee, head over into the live chat, see who's hanging out, and we'll go from there. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? I will see John Palmer in early. Good morning, good day, and good week to you, sir, as always. Maybe you're still around. Hopefully you're still around. You're in at about 10 till, so hope you're still here. Rewilder Life in. Good morning from the new homestead. Woot woot. Congratulations, Rachel. I want to congratulate Rachel and her husband for spending the time at their homestead. Now they've been sharing the journey, getting their property, getting their house put on there, and she shared this weekend. I think it was over the weekend that they spent their first night out there, and it just made me smile, because that's an achievement we're going to be looking forward to here pretty quick. So congratulations to you guys. Pip, good morning to you. Morning humans, up for tile work after breakfast. Tile work. Corey and I were talking about tiles yesterday or the day before, when we were talking about different flooring and kitchen and all of that options in the cabin we're putting up. Let's see who else. Rewilder Life saying good morning to everyone. She's got to be happy, got to be giddy with a little bit of a grin on her face this morning, just knowing the effort that went into getting to where she's at. So Hunter, good morning over on Twitch. Thanks for stopping in. Digger, good morning to you. And John Palmer confirms that he is still around. It's been a week, guys. It's been a week, down to every week on the show. It has definitely been an interesting week so far. Oh, this past week, excuse me, so far. Rachel says her back feels the effort. I bet you guys, it sounded like you were going pretty hot and heavy with moving the stuff from the house to the homestead, and it's all weight. It all adds up. So that's not surprising that there's sore backs, especially if people, I don't want to classify our age, because I'm probably up there a little bit on you. Maybe not, but yeah, when you get to our age, you could feel it a little bit more for sure. It's been an interesting week. We had our hopefully, knock on wood. Rachel says she's almost 51. So you got me by a couple of years. I got a couple weeks here. Is it a couple weeks? I think I'm going to be 47. I think. What year is it? First of all, we got to figure out what year it is. Then we got to do the math backwards. And yeah, I think 47 here in a couple weeks. John Palmer calling me an ass. Rewilder says, what year is it? Yeah, I don't know. A couple weeks ago, I said it was 2024. I think it's 2025. And then I have to remember what year I was born and then do the math. And yeah, I'll be 47. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. It's only what you feel, right? It's only what you feel. So we had our cold snap come through this past week. We'll talk a little bit about that. I finally got around to, not that I got around to it, I was finally able to have the stars align and find a trailer in this area. Actually, it wasn't in this area, but find a trailer to use to get solar panels, and so that happened, and then we had some little breakage from the cold snap. I don't know if it's necessarily from the cold snap, but as we were coming out of it and turning systems back on, we had a little stuff that we had not working. So I dug into that yesterday, but nothing huge. I was excited about that. A couple of things before I get into any of that. I want to talk to you about a class that I'm taking that you might be interested in if you're listening to this. You know that in 2025, as we started the year, I decided I wanted to take and learn a little bit about a couple things, 3 things, Bitcoin, Noster, and AI, just a little bit about those 3 things every day. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on how deep it goes or what form of information I'm consuming. Reading Bitcoin Standard, doing some listening some Bitcoin quick hit podcasts or partial podcasts, learning about Bitcoin that way. Noster, I'm just diving in. I'm using the apps and the clients. I'm reading. I'm in chat groups, things like that. So active learning there. And AI was is an interesting one because it evolves so fast, and so I wasn't really sure how I wanted to learn it. I was doing some things with AI to teach me about AI. And then serendipitously, I saw a post by a friend. Actually, he sent me a message because I had reached out, and I had reached back out to get in contact about some things. And he told me he is doing a 28-day challenge in February, revolving around ChatGPT. This is for beginners to novice beginners to intermediate. I guess you could probably say intermediate. I think the information that's going to be presented will be able to be extrapolated out. It's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. You might be proficient, but there's always things you can learn. So I think there's going to be a lot of benefit to people that have started using ChatGPT, that have no idea what it is, getting your feet wet or getting better at it. But my friend Joshua Hale sent me a 28-day challenge, ChatGPT challenge course that he is doing. I signed up. This is going to be my AI learning for February every day. He says that it takes 8 to 10 minutes a day. That's right in the right spot. And it comes to your inbox, or not your inbox or your text messages. It'll be a copy and paste. It'll be a prompt that you go through and learn about how to use the systems in ChatGPT better. Yeah, I signed up. I got an affiliate link. He's like, hey, you want an affiliate link? I said, yeah, if I'm going to sign up, I might as well give the opportunity to my communities to take it along with me. So I'll post that in the chat. So if you're interested in learning more about ChatGPT in 10 minutes a day through the month of February, go ahead and click on the link, sign up. I believe it's still on super sale down. I think it's $50 for the month of February. So less than right around $2 a day. No, less than $2 a day. 28 days, $50. Less than $2 a day. John Palmer wants yeah, John, I can send you a PM with a link. It should be a good thing. I've gone through some of Joshua's classes in the past. I helped him do some prep on one of his services, and his AI stuff is on point. So he'll do a good job with it. So I'm excited. That starts February 1st and should be good. It should be good. So I'm excited for that. And then let me see what else over here. Oh, the clip contest. Last week of the clip contest. So I thought I'd mention that. By the time we meet up again, that will be closed. And yeah, maybe I'll do a drawing over the weekend, or maybe on this show next week. But the clip contest, episode 816 of this show or later, or any episode of Director Detour, you can make a clip over on Fountain and be entered into a drawing for a Blockstream Jade. It is what it is. I've been talking about it for a month or more on this show and out on socials a little bit. The deck is stacked. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be easy if you make one clip. We do have some serial clippers, Mr. Chris Dixon, and Uncle Jim are clipping geniuses. They're there all the time. So they have stacked the deck. Chris and Jim are in there quite a bit. They're battling. But it only takes one. I'll put them on a random wheel to spin. We'll spin up the wheel and see who wins. So go make a clip. Grab Fountain, Director Detour, or episode 816 of this show or later. The first is on Sunday, I believe. Saturday. So you got 3 episodes of Director Detour this week, and the Friday one, you'll only have about 12 to 15 hours to get a clip on that last one. But entries close midnight it'll be midnight Friday into Saturday. So February 1st, we're done. And we'll give away that Jade. Hunter says he forgot about the contest. And Hunter made a clip to share with his kids. This show or Director Detour? I have to go comb through them all towards the end of the week and actually get a hard count on all of them. I've been scrolling through and checking it out. So I appreciate all the help sharing that. Before I forget, the Director Detour episode's coming out this week. We got Bruce Terhart came out this morning. Bruce Terhart, he didn't come out this morning. Bruce Terhart episode came out this morning. This dude, what a fascinating dude he is. I'll talk about him in just a second here. And then Tom Gledhill, and Tanya Brody. Tom Gledhill helps folks, helps small business owners see the exit path. Makes them realize how to make their business more valuable to have an exit strategy. Interesting guy. Tanya Brody is an email marketing specialist that I talked to on Friday about their journeys to getting there, and we talk a little bit about what they got going on. But Bruce Terhart, this guy, he has he's a Canadian. I didn't hold that against him. He was the second person to canoe across Canada. Yeah, canoe across Canada from the west coast of Canada to the east coast of Canada. He talks about how that goes, because I looked at him kind of funny and was trying to figure out how he canoed over the mountains and then down the mountains and across the prairies of Canada, and he lets me know that. But he also sailed around the world by himself, on a boat by himself around the world in under a year, and he isn't a young man. Let's just say he is older than both Rachel and I. when he is completing these tasks. So definitely check out that. I'm excited to talk to Bruce again, or Bert again, excuse me. I'm excited to talk to him again. He's actually paddling from like the south to north in Canada this summer, and then going to be sailing around the world again. And he has offered to meet to do an interview from his trip with a satellite link at some point. So I'm excited to talk to him again, whether it's on that show, this show, or just a random live stream, because the guy was fascinating to me. I followed up with him a little bit after, and man, the guy's just a trip. So definitely check out that episode of Director Detour this morning. Bert Terhart, Bert Terhart. Great episode. So that's that. John Palmer says there's nothing wrong with the 51st state. Oh, man. Ross is free. There is that. Ross Ulbricht, Trump. I have to give it to Trump. He kept his promise. It wasn't quite day one, but I believe it was in the first 24 hours. Maybe a little later. It is what it is. I don't think that was on the top of the priority list of getting into office, but I have to give him credit. He kept his end of the bargain on that and let Ross out of jail. I don't think the guy should have been in jail to begin with. And even if he was supposed to be in jail, there's no way it should have been the length of sentences he was there. So happy that Ross is out. It's been a long time, and his mother and wife can hug their boy now, and he's home. So thanks, Trump, I guess. Beyond that, he's been on a tear with a bunch of EOs, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Even if I agree with some of the things he's doing, I can't really agree with the methods by which they're doing it. And that's a story for a different show and a different conversation. So let's get to the topic list I had for the day. Our solar panels. This was a trip, and it really isn't over yet. But this all started back, man, probably in August. I think it was August that my friend Sean Mills said, hey, this company I work with has some used solar panels. They got a big pile of them. They're super cheap for what they are. And they're cheap enough that if you lose some in transit, if there's some broken ones, because they were used panels, if there's issues, the price more than makes up for it. And so he told me the price. They're $9 for over 300 watt panels. And so I did the math, and I was like, he said that a lot of them are good. He said the majority of them, or all of them, when they came off, were working. When they came off the building, they were working. And he said in transit, some get kind of messed up. And I was just doing the math. I'm like, yeah, this is just it's a deal if I get 1 out of 3. And so I started working on a plan to get them. They were located 200 miles from where we are, so not horribly far. But it was going to be a lot of panels, a lot of space on a trailer to make it worth the trip for us. Like if I was going to drive 200 miles to go get them, I wanted to get a bunch. So I talked to Tim. We decided that we wanted to split a trailer load of panels. If we could find a trailer, we'd load it up as much as we could. We'd bring it back and split the panels for his cabins, the cabins for Delinquent Scully, solar projects at Delinquent Scully, and then Corey and I are going to use our half of panels for our cabin and other projects around there. So that was the whole plan. I contacted the guy. Actually, I talked to him at SRF, and then I contacted him after I purchased the panels. I said, hey, this is the size trailer I'm shooting for. I think I can get 90 panels on it. It was they were stacks of 18. I was going to get 5 stacks. That's 90 panels. Hoping to get 50, maybe. total. Really, really wanting in the end like 30 or maybe a little more for the actual the actual projects we have tagged for them already. I think 30 would probably suffice. I'd have to do the math again. But in the end, if we didn't have enough and the price was worth it, I could probably go back and get more. So I worked on getting a trailer. I talked about that on this show. The only trailer rental I could find with a trailer big enough and heavy duty enough, because it'd be about a 4,000 or 5,000 pound load. So you're not going to rent and it needed to be like 19 feet, 19, 18 might have worked. I was looking at 20-foot trailers, which would definitely have worked for the 5 stacks, just for the way they needed to be laid out. So I rented a trailer. I had it all set up. I talked to the salesman, and the day I was supposed to go get the trailer was returned to the rental place with a broken axle. I was like, oh shit, okay, let me know when it's fixed. And I never heard back from him. I texted him a few times. He returned my deposit. I called his number. I texted him. I emailed his business, and no soap. Didn't. I guess he didn't want my money. I'm not sure why. I think it would have been probably one of the easier loads physically on his trailer. I think he's renting to a lot of guys moving equipment and busting axles. I wouldn't have been doing that. I wouldn't have been stressing that trailer much at all. So whatever. Now I'm looking for a new trailer. This was after I had one lined up that I was going to borrow from somebody. That fell through. Wasn't really what we had talked about. And so now I was just hunting. I was hunting for a trailer. And so the gentleman that's actually doing our driveway said, well, I have a trailer you can use. The problem is it's okay. So he lives about almost halfway between where I am and where the solar panels is. But he uses the trailer to move his equipment. And the way it was going to work was I could go pick up his trailer on the way there, go pick up the panels, bring them back here, offload them, and then drive them 100 or drive it 100 miles back and have it back before he needed to use it to move his equipment yet. And he's busy. So this was going to be like about every other week we could find 2 days that I wasn't scheduled for anything and he didn't need it. But it was going to be, you need to get it back now because I need to move my shit to the next job, which I would understand since it's his and it's his business and things like that. I was just appreciative he was going to let me use it. So we dicked around back and forth, and one of the times we were going to be able to use it was supposed to be ice storm. One time was I had just some things I could cancel. And finally we dicked around long enough that he ended up buying a new trailer. Not getting rid of the one that I was going to use, but he bought a new one that it let the one I was going to borrow be available a lot more, like all the time, pretty much. And so that was nice. He's like, hey, yeah, you can take it and then you can leave it at the property, because he's doing our driveway. He also owns some of the properties in the area where where Delinquent Scully is, like in that same section of properties. So my life just got a lot better. Basically, I drive the truck 100 miles, pick up a trailer, drive another 100 miles, pick up the panels, and drive 200 miles back. And then I don't even have to unload it anytime soon, because he's just said, you're going to leave it there. I don't really need it. So take your time. Perfect. This job just got really great. So that's what I decided. Last Thursday, I decided I was going to go pick up the trailer, go get the solar panels, bring them back, and then hopefully Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of those days, I was going to be able to get them unloaded. And so this is the story of going to get those panels. I got up, normal morning. I didn't want to go too early. 200 miles. It's not that far. It's like 4 hours. I was shooting for getting to the solar panel place right after lunch. They were going to be loading them. I didn't want to show up in the middle of, hey, John, have a great day. Thanks for stopping. I didn't want to show up in the middle of lunch. And I think it would have been tight to get there before lunch. So I was just shooting for that early afternoon. Left on time. Got to where I was picking up the trailer. Got the trailer hooked up and everything. No problem. Headed on my way. Rolled into the solar panel place. Beginning of the trip was no problem. I called the guy when I got there and I said, hey, here to pick some solar panels up. Where do I park? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, hey, you park out behind the building. I'm just heading into a meeting. Are you in a hurry? It's going to be 20, 30 minutes. Is that cool? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I didn't give you a time I was going to be there. I just said early afternoon. So I can wait 20 minutes, half an hour, go to your meeting. And so I pull out back. I'm sitting in the car. And an hour later or more, and I think it was a little bit more than an hour, here they come to load the panels. I was like, well, that was a long 20 minutes. As I'm looking at the clock, knowing that I had probably, it was going to take longer to get back. It was probably going to take longer to get home. And as the time clicked away, I'm like, oh, it's still going to be part of this in the dark. I'm not a big fan of driving in the dark, especially back right in the area close to our place. There's just deer everywhere. And with a load of panels, I just didn't want to deal with that. But it was what it was going to be. It was definitely going to be part of the drive home in the dark. So we start loading the panels. He's like, oh, we'll just bring over the stacks. We'll set them here. We'll get them all over here, and then we'll load them on the trailer. And so they bring the 5 stacks over, and as they're bringing them over, I'm watching them on the forklift. And they are just, like blowing in the breeze, wobbling, stacks of 18. They had really thin plastic strapping around them, kind of holding them together, but they weren't tight by any means. They would set them down. I could kind of wobble them back and forth. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So they bring the 5 stacks over, and we start putting them on the trailer. And they're fitting all right. We're putting them with the long side across the trailer. So long side down the trailer. And as we're getting towards the end, I'm like, I don't think we're gonna get that fifth stack on there. Now, the trailer that I ended up getting was 18 feet. I said that the one I was trying to rent was 20 feet. Definitely needed the 20 foot to get these 5 stacks of panels. 18, if they were exactly square and pushed exactly right, they would have fit. But we were probably 6 to 10 inches short. Story of my life. 6 to 10 inches short to get the 5th stack on. So we dicked around. Hey, good morning, Creature, over on Noster. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. It was okay. I wanted to get the 90. I wanted to get the full trailer load, but it was no problem. They said they could just take it off the price that I had paid. Just refund me for 18 of them. And so we were dicking around, and I said, these panels are pretty wobbly front to back. Can we take this last stack? And so all the panels are coming, and if you're watching the video, they're going this way. And I wanted to take that last stack, and we had enough room that I could butt it up against facing the other way. So the long way, going with the long way of the trailer instead of across, just to give it some support from everything wobbling front to back. And then I could strap over it with 2 straps and keep that one from wobbling side to side. And they seemed a lot more sturdy front to back. And so this was the plan. I went to throw a strap over. I had bought brand new straps for this job. I had asked the salesman, and he had gotten a hold of the yard, and they said, yeah, 1 strap will hold these stacks fine. They're nested in together. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I bought new straps. Unfortunately, I bought the straps were too small, too short. They were load rated right. They were brake loaded right. They were too short by too much. Probably 3 feet too short, 4 feet too short on the straps. Luckily, I was able to double them up. I had enough to double them up, one for each stack. So I got those. I started ratcheting them down. I knew going in that these had really brittle frames on them, and ratcheting them down, it got a little tight and started smashing and breaking some frames, which was all right. That was accounted for in the cost. We got to the back one and put 2 straps over that, got it loaded up. And so I'm getting ready to leave, and it's late now. It's probably 3:30, pushing 4 o'clock, and it's going to get dark in an hour. And I'm like, man, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long drive home. I'm going to have to stop several times to check this load. I could get the straps tight enough, but not really tight. I knew from transporting stuff before that likely, as I went over bumps on the highway, these are going to shift. They're going to loosen up. So this is going to be just a long shit show of a drive home. I pulled out, I got going, I got moving, and, I pulled into a gas station probably 15 miles down the road just to check the load and top off my tank, so I had enough to get home. And the straps were already all loose. And I got to the back stack, and it was already twisted sideways. It was sitting on the top of a pallet, and it basically just shifted to a 45-degree angle on the back of the trailer. And one of the straps was undone. The other one was holding on. But I was like, oh, my God, I've only gone, 10 miles, 15 miles or whatever. And this is already getting just about ready to fall off the trailer. It's going to be a long 200 miles home. So I was able to kind of slide that stack back on, tighten it down even more, reposition it a little bit. Bad decision to put that the other direction. I found out too late. Each of these stacks weighs about 800 to 1,000 pounds. So it's not like I can just like throw them around on the trailer. So I strapped them down the best I could. I went through a bunch of kind of back road highway with no place to pull over to check the load, no ditches, no shoulders, nowhere to turn around, nowhere to really go anywhere. And I made it through there. First place I got to a highway with a shoulder, I pulled over, let the 30 cars behind me go past because I was not driving very fast. And I checked the load again, and now I had prevented. So the first 3 stacks were fine. The ones that were loaded side to side, they were a little wobbly. I'd snug up the straps a little bit as I'd go by, but that back one that I made the stupid decision to put it the other way. Now it wasn't turning like it was before, but it was inching its way towards the back of the trailer. And all I could see was it just going off the back of the trailer. So I pushed it as far as I could. It slid a little bit. I tightened it down. I tried to put the straps in different directions so the force was pulling it towards the front of the trailer. Hopefully when it would bounce, it would shift forward instead of backwards. But I was nervous. Definitely a long, stressful drive home. So I got on the highway. I was going to take I-40 you've driven through Tennessee, you've been on I-40. And then I was going to take 840 bypass around Nashville, so I didn't have to go through the city. And so I was going along on 840. It was a light traffic day, thank God. Free Wildlife Life says sounds like a blast. I'm not even halfway home yet. I stopped on the highway. I was stopping about every 30 miles just to check the straps. Hunter says Johnstown box truck for first panel transport. I told Corey that. I said if I was going to go again, I'd probably get a U-Haul. If there were any close to rent, I'd get like a 24-foot box truck. And so I stop on 840 right before I was going to come back onto 40, the main highway here in Tennessee, the main 4-lane, 6-lane, whatever, major interstate. And I knew it was going to be busier, so I wanted to stop on the side of on the bypass where it wasn't that busy. And so I pull over on the side, and I look at that back stack of panels, and it is now it's getting like I have to do something or it's going to fall off. I was kind of seeing how far it would move each 30-mile segment, and I got to this one, and it was close. I don't think I was close to losing it, but if I had tried to push it anymore, I think I would have been seriously close to losing 18 solar panels on the middle of the highway in traffic. So I didn't know what I was going to do. There was glass everywhere from the panels that had shifted around and broke. Like the top panel, the bottom panel were kind of breaking. It was a mess for sure. And so I decided that I'm just going to have to move this stack of panels. And I knew I couldn't move 800 pounds. So I started unloading it on the side of the highway in the dark. I had a headlamp. I had brought a headlamp. I had a safety vest. I was off the shoulder as far as I could get. It was pretty big shoulder, thankfully. And so I basically started unloading the last stack of panels. These are 4-foot by 2-foot panels. They weigh 50 pounds a piece. It was kind of windy. There was traffic going by, lots of semis and things like that. And some of these panels were broken. So there was glass fucking everywhere. And so I'm offloading these, kind of looking at which ones are still good. The good ones I'm stacking against the trailer. The bad ones I'm just throwing on the side of the highway. And every time I take one off, I'm trying to push the stack to rearrange where it goes. I pulled the pallet out from under it, and I was able to shift it and turn the whole stack. I think I ended up taking off half. So I was probably down to like 300 pounds of panels, and had half a dozen panels or more sitting on the side of the highway. And I was able to shift it and hey, Canadian Farm said good morning. Thanks for stopping. I was able to shift it around and push it up against the other ones the way they were. I was taking the old panels and breaking the frame off them and rolling them up, shattering glass everywhere. I was throwing them in the back of the truck because I didn't want to leave them on the side of the highway. And I was able to get the stack in place and strapped down more securely in the same direction as the other ones. I lost 3 panels, so 3 panels completely gone off the top. I tore them up, and they were in the bed of the truck. And I got things strapped back down. So I took off, and I was like, okay, there's nothing else I can do. I'll stop somewhere along the way to check the straps, but this is what it is. And so I took off, and I got to where I got off the main interstate. And I was on the road, the highway to where I was going to go drop it off. I was going to go drop it off near DG by Jamie's house. Jamie Ping said I could park his stuff up on his by his chicken coop. And so it was on the way home. And so I got on the main. There was it was basically I-40, and then 641 is a 2-lane highway that goes down to Delinquent Scully. So I was like, all right, I made it off the main highway. Now there's very little traffic, and it's a 60-mile-an-hour road, but I could go 40 and no one would even notice. And so I'm driving along. You go through a couple towns on the way, and so I'm coming into to Parsons, Tennessee, and I slow down to the speed limit. I'm rolling through, and I see cops got somebody pulled over on the other side of the road. So I'm rolling along. I'm just kind of looking at them. I'm like, oh, look at that. They're probably going to be really impressed by this load. I wouldn't be surprised if I got pulled over. As I'm figuring things are like hanging off the trailer and all sorts of shit. It just looked like a shit show the whole time. And I was like, whatever, they're busy. They're not even going to notice. So rolling through town, all of a sudden, blue lights behind me, and I'm like, oh shit, are you kidding? No shoulder to pull over on. I just stop in the lane that I was driving in. I mean, I pulled over just a little bit. Then I was like, what the fuck? By this time, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'd been dealing with this shit since 8:30 in the morning. Now this cop wants to pull me over, and I'm 20 miles from home. Out of a 400-mile trip, I'm 20 miles from home. Less than 20 miles, really. And so the cop starts walking up, and I put my hands on the. I turned the cab light on, put my hands on the windshield, had the window or on the steering wheel, had the window down. And the cop walks up, and before he even got to the window, he's like, hey, your chain's dragging. I'm like, what? I'm like trying to listen out the window, and I put my head out the window, and he's like, your chain's dragging. I just whip the door open and jump out of the truck. No, wait, what? Officer, can I get out of the truck or whatever? I just jump out of the truck. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? A chain dragging. Get around the back of the truck. And he's like, your safety chain. Well, one of the safety chains on the trailer, one of them had the clasp block and the other one didn't. Well, over all the bumps on the highway, one of the safety chains had popped off and had been dragging. And I have no idea how long it was dragging, when it started dragging, because I thought back and I realized that when I was checking the straps on the trailer, I never checked the safety chains and looked to make sure they were still on. I had forgot that one of them didn't have a clasp on it. So that could have been, 20 miles into the trip. Well, when I was going through town, it was sparking on the ground. And so he took exception to that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll grab it. And as I'm grabbing a bungee cord out of the back of the truck, and the cop's like, starting to ask me some questions. I was like, oh, I'll just bungee this up and get it out of the way. I'm sorry, officer, I didn't know. Another cop pulls up, his partner, these two young guys. I mean, young. I would guess these guys were in their early 20s. And I'm like, this could go really bad. And I'm thinking about Carrie Brown's interaction with the police on the way home from SRF. If you haven't watched the episode of this show with Carrie Brown about don't talk to the fucking police, or Carrie's episode about it, or anything down that line, I'm very versed in don't fucking talk to the cops, even if you're innocent, because you're going to be not innocent real quick. So the cop says, where are you coming from? I said, just picking up this load on the trailer. Oh, do you mind asking what it is? And as the guy's looking at it, he's like, I think they're solar panels. I said, they're solar panels. And the guy says, wow, that's got to be a lot of money. That's a lot of panels. I said, I just kind of, And he goes, do you mind asking? Do you mind if I ask how much they cost? And I said, yeah, I do mind. And he went on from there. He didn't push it. I hear him call in he says, what state is that tag from? As I'm I'm bungee cording the safety chain up. I'm down by the truck tag, and he's like, "What state is that tag from?" I said, "South Dakota." And I'm like, "This is just not gonna go good." I got a borrowed trailer. I got South Dakota plates. I'm tired. I'm irritable. These guys seem like they're looking for, like they're bored, like they're looking for something to do. And I said, "Oh, South Dakota." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So he calls in the plate. I hear him calling the plate on his little walkie-talkie. And he never asked for my license. It comes back. I hear the dispatcher come back, and I I hear the dispatcher call back, and he goes, "Yeah, that plate's registered to a 1984 green Dodge." And the cop kind of gets this look on his face and takes his flashlight and flips it up to the truck. And he goes, "What year is this?" I said, "Not an 84. I said, "It's a 2011. He goes, "And it's not green, right? It's red." I was like, "I'm not really good with colors, but I'm pretty sure it's not green." He calls back to the dispatcher and he's like, "Yeah, that's wrong." And the other cop's like, "Isn't it South Dakota that you get to use your plates over? You just take the plates and put it on the new truck?" And I said, "I don't know. I registered this truck there last year. I actually got the new registration and tab stickers in the truck. I haven't put them on yet." And he's like, "Oh, would you grab that?" "Yes, sir, officer." So I went and grabbed that. Still hasn't asked for my ID or anything. And the one cop looks at me and he goes, "Well, just so you know, I think you need a license plate on the trailer in Tennessee." And I'm just like, "You think?" So I played it. I was like, "Well, it's not my trailer. I borrowed it. I don't know. I assume that the guy that owns the trailer that's had it for years would have a tag on it. He uses it all the time." And he's like, "Well, I'm pretty sure you need a tag on a trailer in Tennessee." And he looks at the other cop and he's like, "Right?" And the other cop's like, "I don't really know." And I'm like, "Well, if you guys don't know, I'm not getting a ticket for it because you can't tell me that you don't know, but you're just going to cite me for it." And I'm like, "Well, am I free to go?" And he's like, "Well, give me a second. I want to call your plate in again." And I was like, "Well, here's the registration. It's registered to me. I just like look at the date. Look at it's the plates on the registration. The truck 2011." And he's like, "Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're free to go." And I'm like, that could have been better. That could have went really, really bad, really, really fast. So I jumped in the truck, went along. I'm like, "Okay, well, there's that. What else is going to go wrong?" Rolled up to Jamie's, rolled in, pulled up to where I'm gonna park the trailer and drop it for a few days. And I put the foot down and go to release the ball release, and it won't fucking come off. I'm in the dark. I'm tired. I still had another half an hour to drive home after I dropped it. I'm just pissed off. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I grab a wrench out of the truck. I'm wrenching on this thing, and it was just like the trailer was on a bit of a slope in the truck, and it was all this. So I'm in the truck. I'm like, all right, trying to back the truck up and loosen the pressure off the hitch. And it's an old trailer, guys. It was like an old beat up equipment trailer, and it just wouldn't release. And so I'm like, "Fuck it. I'll just take the pin out of the hitch. I'll pull the hitch out of the receiver and I'll leave it. I don't need it until I'm moving the trailer again. I'll deal with it in the light when on another day." So I knock the pin out of the receiver and I go to pull forward, and I pull forward, and didn't pull all the way out, but it loosened it up, and it did what I wanted. It loosened up, so I release the ball. I take the hitch out, and I put the hitch back in, and I put the pin in. Secure the trailer. Make sure everything. Hunter says Google says an 8x20 and smaller doesn't need a tag. Right? It's an 18-foot trailer. The cops didn't know either way. And so I secure the trailer. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to sleep. I'll deal with the rest later. It's not a hurry. The trailer isn't needed, whatever. I got them to where they're at. I have no idea how many are good, bad, broken, but I didn't lose any off the trailer that I didn't take off myself. So I was excited. And so I drive home. I get home. It was one of those things where I got home and I was just so wound up and tired, and I couldn't fall asleep. And then I had to get up to stoke the fire. It was just a long day, long night. Wake up the next morning, kind of out of it. Corey and I are going to go take the dogs for a walk, and I go outside and look over at the truck, and the trailer hitch is gone. Now, we have a big adjustable, so it's like the unit goes into the trailer receiver or the truck receiver, and then it's all sorts of adjustable. And then there's another receiver that we had a 3-ball hitch goes into there. Well, that's where I disconnected it. Well, the 3-ball hitch was gone. And it was kind of foggy still. And I'm like, did I leave that out there? I was like, no, I didn't fucking leave it out there. I know I put it back in. The pin was in still. And I was like, son of a bitch. In the dark, I put the receiver in, but didn't put it all the way in. And I put it in just enough that the pin went right behind it. And I'm guessing on the way home, it fell out and I lost it. Fantastic. I drove back out there to look to make sure I didn't leave it on the trailer to see if I needed to get a new one. Didn't see it on the side of the road. It wasn't on the trailer. I was like, it's gone forever. It's gone forever. Hopefully nobody got. So I lost 2 things. I lost the safety chain hook that I hope didn't go through somebody's fucking radiator, tire, or something else on the highway. And then I also lost the 3-ball hitch at some point. So I got another one of those on order. But what a shit show. What a shit show of a trip with the solar panels. But they're back. They're kind of there. Now I have to, Pip says at least you didn't lose your patience. It was one of those things where it's like, it wouldn't have mattered if I did. I was just like, meh, it is what it is. Now I have to get them from Jamie's back through the easement road to our property and offloaded, which is going to be another adventure on its own. We got some rain coming, and yeah, it'll be fun. The ball for my trailer hitch won't be here till Wednesday, so I won't be doing anything with it until at least then. And then it's supposed to be raining for like 3 days straight, so it'll be interesting. So the solar panels are back. I learned a lot. Like if I went to get another load, I would. I think it'd be a lot easier. Hunter says, "Do you know how to solder the cells? Or are you going to fix the broken ones?" Probably not. Well, do I know how? I know how to solder. Will I be fixing the broken ones? Probably not. I swung a deal with the guys that I'll come out ahead. More than likely, I'll come out ahead even on what I purchased, let alone with the price. We're just getting rid of anything that's broken. If it's kind of broken and salvageable, I might use it for a project. But at the price, these ones are pretty disposable. So I'm probably not fixing. Excuse me. Probably not fixing much. So that was an experience. I think I could go and get another load of them if I wanted. If the other folks around the area, or that development that we're kind of around the gully there. There's some other guys that might be interested in. I might make another trip. Hunter says maybe a class. I'm hoping to do a bunch of classes with one-off projects with direct-to-DC stuff. I'm hoping to do a lot of classes around the solar panels. I don't know if fixing them will be one of those. I don't know. We're looking at a bunch of different classes out at the gully this year, so we'll see. Made it through the cold snap last week. I'm hoping it's the one cold snap of the year. Last year we had one. This year it seemed to be about the same. This year was okay. I told you last week about the crappy wood that I bought. We were able to make it through to the coldest of the days, and I had saved some of the deadfall that was burning really nice. I had saved some of the wood I had gotten from the contact that had the dried wood that was giving it away. We were able to make it through the coldest of the days with the wood that was burning the best, and stay decent warm in here. It really wasn't that bad. It sucked going outside, but it really wasn't that bad in here. We did all right. We didn't drain our water. We didn't, as far as I can tell so far, I think everything is thawed back out that would have been frozen or broke. I don't see any broken pipes. I don't see any broken anything as of yet. I haven't really got under the camper to inspect completely, but we're not losing pressure in any place. The only thing that might be leaking is our low point drains might be leaking if the cap broke in the freeze, because I didn't drain everything. I think between the wood stove and keeping it warm in here and the skirting, we were able to get by. And then 3 days ago, I don't know, way sooner than I thought, we tried to run the hose, and I hadn't walked down the hose. I just turned the hose off and released the pressure and left the valves open. I didn't drain it out, and I was almost sure we'd have ice in the hose and we'd have to wait a few days for it to thaw out. But when we popped the hose on, turned it on, we were able to fill up our tanks. So basically as smooth as it possibly could have been with the cold snap. So knock on wood, that was an easy way to get through. And hopefully we don't have another one yet this year. And by next winter, hopefully we're in the cabin dealing with different cold snap problems than the ones that we would be in the RV. So Mother Nature threw it at us, and we got through it again this year. So that's good. Learning how to adapt and get through that stuff. And now I just got a big pile of wet, damp wood that we're going to try to burn up through the rest of the kind of chilly season this spring. So hopefully nothing super cold in the forecast. I don't see anything right now, but we still have to get through February. And if we get through most of February, I'm guessing we're in the clear. So that's good. The one thing that did stop working, and I don't know if it was related, unrelated, or what, but when we started to use the water again, like we conserved water during the cold snap, so we didn't run out, and we kept a decent mass in the tank. When we started using the water heater again, it wouldn't come on. So yesterday, that was my job to try to figure out what was going on with that. Basically, we would flip the water heater on. You'd hear the igniter go click, 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 where it was sparking. It would ignite the flame. You could hear the whoosh, and then you'd hear the flame burn, and then it would stop. It's set to try that 3 times, and then it locks itself out if it doesn't stay on. So I've been through this with the furnace and the water heater before. Basically, what happens is you flip the switch on, it sends a signal to open the gas valve and start the sparker. When the sparker goes off, some water heaters have a flame sensor. Some water heaters have a return signal in the igniter that is the flame sensor. Basically, it wasn't getting the signal that the flame was igniting, and then it was shutting it off. So I went out, I took it apart, I cleaned the igniter, put it back in, still the same thing going on where it was lighting and then going out. I came in, looked on the inside, was looking at the control board, and then I was looking at the cable from the control board to the igniter, and there were like probably a half dozen spots where mice had chewed through the coating and got down to the wire and then stopped. So with the sensitivity of that signal coming back, I had assumed that this is probably an issue. I laid the cable out so it wasn't bent at all and turned it on, and it worked. So I am assuming that some of the issues were with these mice bites in the cable covering. So I ordered a new cable for that, but got it into a position that it actually worked for now. I think that's it. I think that was the problem. I was stupid and I didn't order new igniters when I ordered the cable. But being short time in the camper, Corey and I have talked about it, and it just hurts it hurts spending any money on the camper. It's just money we can't spend on the cabin. But it was like $20 for the cable, and I should have spent the extra $7 to get a new igniter. So we'll see if the new cable fixes it. It needs to be fixed anyway because it's got a bunch of mice nibbles in it. So that was a pretty quick troubleshooting thing. It's nice to be able to walk through that stuff again. Basically do a Google search on the model number, get a manual, look through the manual, look at the parts, and determine I have X, Y, and Z happening, and then it stops. What's preventing the next thing from happening? And then being able to rectify it. It's a nice skill to have. I circled back to when we had our lightning strike in the camper and all the stuff that went out, and I'm thankful that I have all that experience over the years of doing that troubleshooting. Because I looked at Corey yesterday, I said, what would people do? What do people do when this shit goes sideways for them? And she says, well, they probably Google it like you do, and then when they have no idea, they take it to a repair guy. And I'm like, I just could never, I can't pay for that. I just got to figure it out. At this point in my life, I just have to figure that out. Hey, Jim, good morning. Thanks for stopping in over at Noster. I appreciate that. You got in before it was over. So water heater is on the mend. And really, I just don't think that we did too bad through that cold snap. I don't think we lost much of anything. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get over. I think this week I'm going to be able to get over to put a deposit down on the getting the posts and the roof put in out at Delinquent Scully. Been waiting a little bit on the driveway progress, and the fact that it's been so wet and cold and off and on. I don't think we wanted to wait until we were sure that the driveway was going to be complete before we had a date to have access up there for the equipment to put the posts and the roof in. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go over this week and get that deposit down. and get on a calendar date, because might as well at this point, because talking to the driveway guy, it should be not long before that's installed. I think that's pretty much it on the list of on stuff I had. Like I said, that Joshua Hale ChatGPT course, I'm excited to do that. If you guys want to jump on that, link is in the chat. I'll have it in the description, the audio description when it goes out, so you can find that. Director Detour, like I said, the Bruce Terhart interview for today. Man, it's out. It's you can listen to it right after this if you want. But holy crap, interesting dude, and fascinating stories. I'm excited to talk to him again. Got classes out at DG if you're interested. Looking like April and June for Carrie Brown from Strong Roots Resources, doing a partnering with trees on permaculture in April. And a wild food all around us in June. If you're interested in those, it's looking like they're going to be right around $100 a ticket. You can reach out to me. Right now, I'm still trying to get the Delinquent Scully site up and functioning with a calendar and booking and ticketing and all of that. So bear with me on that. If you're interested in coming to the class or want some more information on it, you can definitely shoot me a message directly or an email, and I can let you know and reserve you a spot, because it'll be limited tickets, and it'll be first come, first serve once we get the site up. Looking like we're going to plan another Gully Days for the fall. More of a mix of work day / community day again. Probably less work, more community this time. And then likely moving into a ticketed event in 2026, standalone, probably independent, different weekend than SRF, but more of a weekend, 3-day on the weekend type of thing, so more people can attend and not piggyback off of SRF. But those are just thoughts right now. This year, I think we're gonna plop a Gully Days event right before SRF, and just make it and come and hang out and pitch in and enjoy the community building camp out weekends, or I guess it'd be week-ish, camp out midweek before SRF. So we will see. That's kind of what we got going on right now. I got some other possibilities for classes. They're going to be out at the gullies, shorter 2-4 hour classes throughout the year. Excited to get those rolling, and then have a full schedule into 2026. So other than that, it's just another day here. Got a bunch of interviews lined up this week. We're booked. I'm recorded through February, I believe, right now. So Director Detour isn't going anywhere. I hope you're enjoying that. Getting some good feedback over in the Telegram group. It's interesting. It's interesting trying to get folks to talk about what they're not focused on talking about. A lot of the folks I'm getting on the show, and rightfully so, they're there to promote something. They're there to talk about their specialty, and I'm asking them to talk about everything except, and then only a little bit at the end talk about what they got going on. So it's a different type of thing. A lot of folks that come on get it, and some just don't, and they're focused on one thing and they want to get their message across, and it comes off kind of tough at points, but we'll get there. And I try to make it entertaining regardless of what direction it goes. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up here, unless you guys got anything you want to talk about. If I'll be here for another minute or so. If you got anything, you can throw it in the chat. I'm open to talking about anything. I guess I did jump over the Trump stuff. Like I said, he let Ross out. That's all I was concerned about. I didn't go and vote for that. I didn't think that my vote was going to make a difference, just like always. But I was glad to see that a politician promised something and it came true, because that was an important issue to me. If it hadn't, I wasn't going to be surprised. I I was actually betting on that it probably wouldn't happen anytime soon, that hopefully at some point it was going to, but hey, it showed me I was wrong and got it done right up out of the bat. So that's that. That's that, guys. Another week. Hopefully you got a lot done. Pip says make V8s great again. V8 as in the drink, or 8-cylinder or 8-cylinder V8s. Excuse me, 8 valves. Oh man. All right. Well, I'm out of here, guys. Hope you have an awesome week. I hope you get a bunch of shit done. Join the Telegram group over at t.me/LotsChat. We can hang out all week. If you have anything you want me to talk about on the show, feel free to send it in through the Telegram chat or info@thelotsproject.com. You can also find me on all the socials. You go to the Lots, LOTS project.com. Up at the top, there's links to all the social medias. You can find me out there anywhere. Just send me a message, get a hold of me, and let's chat. Like connecting with people and building my network out and seeing how we can add value to each other. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you make it a great week, and we will talk to you again next Monday.